Today's episode brings a close look at Toyota's supplier warning in China, a Hyundai Palisade seatbelt recall, a Jeep Wagoneer liftgate issue, BMW M5 facelift spy footage, and a new emissions exemption bill shaping automotive policy. Welcome back to Autonews Daily. I'm Leah Morgan. Let's dive into today's headlines. We begin with Toyota and a development that puts a spotlight on supply chain discipline in China. The company has issued a warning to one of its safety-related suppliers there, underscoring how seriously automakers are treating compliance, quality control, and recall prevention in a market that is central to production planning and sourcing. Even when the issue is not tied to a public recall, this kind of warning matters because it can affect relationships with Tier 1 suppliers, internal audits, and the way OEMs manage risk across their manufacturing network. In practical terms, these warnings are part of the broader effort to avoid defects before they reach finished vehicles. For Toyota, and for the industry more generally, the message is clear. Supplier oversight is no longer just about cost and delivery timing. It is also about making sure safety-critical parts meet expectations every step of the way, especially as vehicle architectures become more complex and global supply chains remain under pressure. That question of quality and safety carries directly into our next story, with Hyundai now facing a recall on the 2026 Palisade. The issue involves a seatbelt defect, which immediately puts the focus on occupant protection and regulatory response in North America. Seatbelts are among the most fundamental safety systems in any vehicle, so even a targeted defect can trigger a major service action, dealer coordination, and parts logistics across a wide network. For Hyundai, the operational ripple effects are not small. A recall like this can affect how quickly dealers can inspect and repair affected vehicles, how replacement parts are distributed, and how the company communicates with owners who may already be driving one of the newest versions of the Palisade. It also adds another example of how automakers must balance product launches with the reality that even new models can encounter issues that require immediate attention once they reach customers. And once a recall begins, the industry tends to watch closely for whether the problem is isolated or part of a wider pattern. That leads us to another safety-related action, this time involving Jeep and the Wagoneer. In this case, the recall centers on the liftgate hinge cover, a component that may seem small compared with drivetrain or braking systems, but still matters when it comes to fit, finish, and long-term quality control. Wagoneer owners affected by this issue will likely be looking for clarity on what exactly needs to be replaced and how long the repair will take. For the manufacturer, this is another reminder that component-level concerns can have a broader impact on brand perception, dealer workload, and warranty planning. In a competitive market for large SUVs, these are the kinds of details that can influence how consumers judge product reliability over time. Let's shift now from current recalls to a future-looking development from BMW. Spy video has surfaced showing what appears to be a facelifted M5, giving enthusiasts and industry watchers an early look at how the performance sedan may evolve in its next update cycle. While the camouflage hides the finer details, even limited footage can reveal important signals about design direction, engineering changes, and the timing of a model refresh. For BMW, a facelift is more than just a cosmetic update. It is a chance to keep a high-profile performance car fresh in a market where rivals are constantly raising the bar, and it also gives suppliers and production teams an early sense of where the program may be heading. In Europe, where product planning and engineering timing are closely watched, these glimpses matter because they can hint at upcoming work on exterior components, lighting, aero details, and other systems that feed into manufacturing readiness. As always, the most effective way to keep bringing you the day's automotive news is to like and subscribe, which helps us continue delivering the stories that matter to listeners like you. We end today with policy and a bill that could have wider implications for emissions compliance. Leno's law is being discussed as an emissions exemption measure, and while the details of any such proposal matter greatly, the broader point is that legislation can reshape how automakers and suppliers plan for compliance, engineering, and testing. When regulatory frameworks change, companies often have to reconsider timelines, certification work, and the way certain technologies are deployed across their vehicle lineups. That is why policy stories like this matter even when they do not involve a specific model launch or recall. Automakers build product strategies around rules, and suppliers build systems around the technical requirements those rules create. Whether the bill advances or not, the conversation itself is part of a larger industry debate about how emissions standards should evolve and how much flexibility manufacturers should have as they adapt to changing market and regulatory conditions. That's it for today's episode of Auto News Daily. Thank you for listening and see you tomorrow.